Hello and welcome everybody to another Vintage Cube Draft video. I am paulcheon and I am teamed with another LSV, Luis Salvato, Timrod, and Tobias, and we are going up against Nachito, Talisker, Janara, and Dan. What do we open? We opened Narset, Parter Vales, Exploration, Court of Garenbrig, and Arid Mesa. I think those are the considerations out of this pack. I've done a lot of the land stuff already with the exploration, so I don't know that I want to take that right away. I am a big fan of Court of Garenbrig, though. But I don't know that any of these are good enough better than just taking a fetch land first and kind of seeing where the draft goes. And now we're looking at a pack with Memory Lapse. This pack is also quite weak. There's a Memory Lapse, a Tireless Tracker, maybe a City of Traders, and a Tropical Island as cards to consider. Nachito, shame on you for passing me a horrible pack. I think I'm just going to take a Memory Lapse. Just good 2-mana counters are always fantastic. And there's nothing else really that's pulling me into a direction here out of this pack. So let's just start with Memory Lapse and the fetch land for now and see where things go. Now we have a pack that has a couple of white aggressive creatures in Spellbook Vendor and Student of Warfare. No Sandy Dog in the draft, so I wonder who's going to be the aggro drafter. Dress Down, which is a card that I really like to play in all my blue decks. It's just, it helps stop Monarch. It just does a lot, and it's such a low cost to put into your deck. Alternatively, there's also Leovold, Emissary of Trest. I like taking this a little bit more when I already have some sense of direction. If I have a Time Twister already or something along those lines, I'll take that. Here, I think I'm just going to take Teferi Time Raveler. I think it's just kind of the best card in a vacuum, and we have kind of the mana for it already. So we might be setting up for potentially a control deck, but still too early, of course. And now we're looking at a pack with, we have some lands here. We have a Badlands and a Taiga. Both are lands that we can go fetch with our duel. What else do we have here? I mean, this pack is pretty bad. There's a Mana Tithe. I'm not sure how good Mana Tithe is. I don't know. I like fourth picking a Mana Tithe. There's a Wrath of God, a Virtue of Loyalty, and a Sauron's Ransom. So none of these cards are cards I'm really looking to take fourth pick. So I might just take a land out of this pack because Teferi could easily be a splash. And what color would I rather be given this start? I think I would much rather be black than green. So I'm going to take the Badlands here over the Taiga. I just think there's more instances where you'll be splashing black cards. So I'll take the Badlands out of this pack and then kind of move on. Geez, okay. These packs are kind of rough. This is another pack with just not a whole lot of cards that I'm interested in. I'm looking at really Monastery Mentor versus Dovin's Veto. I like to be a little bit more proactive now in the cube in general. So I think I'm leaning towards taking Monastery Mentor over Dovin's Veto, even though I really do like Dovin's Veto just as another counter/negate effect. But the fact that it's a negate makes it a little bit worse for me. I like Miscalculation, Mana Leak, all those cards more because you can just get anything. Because, of course, the aggressive strategies are still very good. So let's just take a Monastery Mentor out of this pack and kind of move forward. I think this is the type of card that'll be good in basically any deck that we play. We should have enough spells, right? And the hits keep not coming. Wow, what is going on here? There's a Tail's End. That's a new LSV edition. I wonder if this is good, but I don't know if it's something that I want to take this early. I'm not really interested in Strict Proctor. This is not really an artifact deck for Seed of the Synod. There's a Raminep Excavator and a Pyrokinesis. Jeez. Sorry, folks. This is really weird. I'm not really sure what to take. I think Pyrokinesis is the most powerful card. And I think it's if I end up maybe Jeskai or Blue-Red, I think it's a card that will have the most impact. So this is weird, but I think I'm just going to take it, even though there's a decent chance it might not even make my main deck. I just think it's the card that gives me the most percentage points against the aggressive strategies. Now we have a pick between Dig Through Time and I think Council's Judgment. Again, not much else here. Wow, this is one of the weakest starts I've ever had. And I think I might just need to settle into some kind of a blue-white control deck. I'm going to just take Council's Judgment here, just to have a nice way to kill anything. And this isn't quite looking like a Dig Through Time deck just yet. So let's just take the Council's Judgment out of that pack. And here, that's a late Llanowar Elves along with a Bayou. Some decent mana there. But I think I'm just going to take a Get Lost Good, cheap, efficient removal is always nice to have, and Get Lost just allows you to really deal with anything. Of course, giving them map tokens when you're playing a control deck is not ideal, but I think it's still a pretty solid removal spell to play in the cube. So let's go ahead and take that. And yeah, okay, so green might be open. Green might be open, but let's take a look. What do we want here? I mean, it seems a little bit odd to take Sylvan Caryatid and Court of Garenbrig. We seem to be pretty far away from making that pivot. So I'm looking at Intrepid Adversary and Preacher of the Schism. Preacher of the Schism is a nice mid-range creature if I want to play that. Intrepid Adversary is a better card if I wanted to be more aggressively slanted. And I guess there is a chance we end up mono-white. So I'll just take the Adversary and not take the Preacher just because the Preacher makes me go into another color. Oh man, that's a tracker too. So yeah, green is really open. I just think it's a little bit late. I can splash the tracker, but I have this Badlands. I can also splash the Urtai. And my mana supports splashing the Urtai more than the tracker, even though I recognize that the tracker is a better card. So I'm going to take the Urtai here, recognize that green is super open, and then just kind of move on along with the aggressive white strategy. So those are both open. I mean, is it too late? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it too late? Can I just go mono white? I can take this Dress Down or this Spellbook Vendor. Okay, let's take Spellbook Vendor. Okay, let's take Virtue. They're a Student of Warfare, but I don't know that we're going to have enough to be straight mono white, in which case I do like the Vendor. So I'm going to take the Vendor here, and yeah, I'm making a weird swap here, because here I could also take Wrath of God, but it does seem to me that white is extremely open, and I think we might be more of an aggressive, perhaps an aggressive blue-white deck, and just kind of take it from there. But now, you know what's really funny? I looked at the top part, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll consider taking Lelia the Blade Reforged. Of course we're not going to do that. We're probably going to table Selfless Spirit or something along those lines. There's a Mox Jet, and there's a Mox Pearl. Let's go ahead and take that Mox Pearl. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic addition to this deck. So right now, where are we at? We are looking at, basically, it looks like we're going to be a white-based tempo deck, not a full-on control deck. We could have done that, but I do prefer being a little more proactive, so let's see how this pans out for us. Looking at this pack, we have a couple of fetches, which is nice, but there's the One Ring. There's 3 fetches in this pack, which is great. Not the biggest fan of Phantasmal Image, and I mean, if we splash Black Raffine can be good if our removal is good enough, but the One Ring is just too good of a card. It's good in any deck, and it's going to be a welcome addition in our deck. Plus, we can reset it with Teferi, and I believe you can target your own permanents with this. So if the One Ring gets a little bit scary, we can also, of course, bounce it. And now we're looking at a pack with Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, Spell Pierce, and Tundra. And those are all considerations. I think this Tundra is probably too important for our deck. I love Spell Pierce. I love Thalia. I think there is a chance Thalia tables. We have a couple of counters already, but I want to make sure that my Arid Mesa gets me a blue-white land. So I think for that reason, I'm going to take the Tundra here, because I don't think we're going to have enough playables if we just end up straight up mono-white. And with the cards that we have, it makes a lot of sense to do a light blue splash. So let's take a Tundra out of this pack. And that gives us access to 2 blue sources. And I just need to be mindful of also the types of cards that I take. And this is kind of the reason why I didn't take Student of Warfare over a card like Spellbook Vendor. I think Student of Warfare is probably a little bit better just because 1-drops are really important if you're super aggro. But this pack, this is the blue-white player's dream. There's a Stoneforge Mystic. Was there a Cauldron Complete in the... There was a Cauldron completed. And there's a bunch of counters. Now, I will note that because we're lightly playing blue cards, things like Force of Will and Force of Negation are currently looking like it's going to be worse. And I think Stoneforge Mystic, I mean, Fractured Identity is a little expensive. I think I take Stoneforge Mystic just because I think the combination of Stoneforge Mystic plus Cauldron Complete or Batterskull is so powerful that it's worth doing. But wow, this is a blue. I mean, this is just a fantastic pack. We're looking at Force of Will, Force of Negation, Grief, Fractured Identity, Time Twister, Chain Lightning, and Hierarch as all premium cards to take out of this pack. I'm going to take Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to cross my fingers. And I'm going to hope to get either the Cauldron Complete or Batterskull or both to table out of that pack. This is, wow, this is another insane pack for us. We have Reprieve, Flickerwisp, and Skyclave Apparition. And let's see if we have a lot of ways to abuse the Flickerwisp. Not really. We can flicker Teferi, I guess. There's the One Ring. We can flicker Stoneforge. I think I'm just going to take Reprieve. I do love 2-mana counters. This seems like an awesome, play some creatures and then you have counter spells up. And I think we will table one of these white cards. But a card like Reprieve is a little bit more difficult to pick up for your deck. Now we have the choice between Dismember and Seachrome Coast. We're kind of lacking removal, and I think Dismember is just a premium removal spell. So I'm going to take that over the Wandering Emperor. Wandering Emperor is good, but I think it's a little replaceable. There's a lot of great 4-mana cards to play in this type of deck, and I just want to have some good, cheap 1-mana interaction. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, and Dismember, of course. Hopefully the Seachrome Coast tables. And now we're looking at a pack of... There's Malcolm, but I want to try to take the white cards if possible. I don't think I want Winds of Abandon here. So it's really Thraben Inspector versus the Hero of Bladehold. And I love me a Hero of Bladehold. I know Thraben Inspector is a nice one, but I don't think I'm caring too much about the artifact aspect of this, and I think Hero of Bladehold is super, super strong. There's also an Eagles of the North, but I think I want to take the Hero and then maybe try to table Inspector or Eagles out of this pack. But I think Hero Bladehold is a premium 4-mana card in this type of deck, even though I just said that it is a little replaceable. Now we have the choice between Adanto Vanguard and Spellqueller. What's our 2-mana situation? We only have 2 2-drops right now. This does seem like a good Spellqueller deck. I don't think we're necessarily all aggro. We're kind of more mid-range tempo. So I think in decks like that, I do prefer having Spellqueller. Spellqueller is just interesting just because it's not... it doesn't play all the time just because Blue-White tends to be a little more controlling, but I think it's pretty good here. Now I want to take Staff of the Storyteller. We have Virtue of Loyalty, Monastery Mentor, and Hero of Bladehold as ways to make tokens. I think this might have been the pack that had Cauldron Complete. So maybe the Stoneforge Mystic's not going to pan out for us, but I'm pretty happy here, still taking Staff of the Storyteller. And now we have Sunfall, potential Rafine Splash, and Scrap Heap Scrounger as well as potential cards. I don't think I care too much about the sweeper. I think I'd rather have Scrounger or Rafine. Our mana doesn't look to be especially good, but Scrounger doesn't seem like it's at its best here. So maybe I'll just take a Rafine as a spec in case I do get good fixing, because if I do, then I think it can be quite nice. I think somebody took the equipment hoping that they would table the Stoneforge Mystic. That's what it feels like to me. I'm just going to hate something out of this pack. So it's Unmarked Grave or Green. I'll just take the Green Sun Zenith here. I don't think I'm going to need a Razorverge Thicket. Oh, wait! There it is! Man, my short-term memory is so bad. I don't know if the Cauldron Complete was in the first pack. But anyways, Stoneforge Mystic, Batterskull, super happy. And look at this! Flickerwisp or Skyclave Apparition. Oh my. I'm not entirely... I think I like the Flickerwisp. I think I like the Flickerwisp as a way to reset the One Ring potentially. But I think both are very, very good. Oh, and now we got the Wandering Emperor. So white and the Winds of Abandon. Okay, no real reason to play black here. We just need to make sure that our mana is good. But wow, this is nice. Really, really nice. I don't think I'm going to want to play the Winds of Abandon. And not entirely sure this is the proper deck for the Spellbook Vendor. This is looking definitely more on the mid-range end of the spectrum. Might not even play the adversary out of this pack. But what do we have here? We have Oko, Thief of Crowns. Excellent, excellent card. Had we taken that green-white land, something to consider. But what I'm taking is Fourth Year Lingus. There's nothing great here that's blue or white. Hopefully we'll table the Timeless Dragon just to have extra mana fixing. But we are taking Fourth Year Lingus. There's a Fast Spawn 2 and an Urza and an Oko. So really strong pack. But Fourth Year Lingus, we have an Arid Mesa. We can play the Badlands instead of a Mountain because that also helps us cast Dismember. But I'm taking the Fourth Year Lingus and keeping an eye out for some extra mana fixing. This card is just that good. Now we have the choice between Mana Leak and Karakas. Do we have any legends that we want to save? I don't see any, but I think Karakas is just in general very good. We have 3 2-mana counters already. We have 18 cards here. I think this is close. There's an Archon of Cruelty and Palantir and Fury, so another very strong pack. Very different than pack 1, but I guess if pack 1's terrible, the other packs have got to be better, most likely. But the question for me is, do I want to play Mana Leak, or do I want to just take this Karakas? And I think, because I think I'm going to have enough playables, and as much as I like Mana Leak, I think Karakas is very powerful. So I'm going to go with the Karakas because I have room to just take lands over spells right now. And now we have, Birds of Paradise. Does the Badlands get fetched by Flooded Strand? No. But this is a pack that has nothing really for us. And we're not really passing anything too crazy here. So I'm going to happily take Flooded Strand just to make my mana that much better. We do have that Tundra, so the Arid Mesa also. So yeah, this is just making sure that our mana is rock solid. Again, we are kind of a mostly mono-white deck with a touch of blue. We got Spellqueller, Teferi, and a couple of counters that we want to play in our deck. And now we have... What do we have? We have Smuggler's Copter, which is quite nice. There's a Jace Vryn's Prodigy. There's a Ponder, which is okay, but I'm kind of leaning towards Smuggler's Copter or Jace. And now we have to make the decision on what kind of deck we are. Will we have enough creatures to be able to consistently crew the Copter, or do we want to play something like a Jace? And if we do we have a lot of spells to cast with Jace? I'm looking at my deck, and I don't have that many spells, because counter spells don't work with Jace. I have Dismember, Get Lost, Council's Judgment, and I guess Fourth Year Lingus. So I think Jace doesn't do enough here. So I'm going to take the Smuggler's Copter here and hope. I mean, we have Spellbook Vendor and Intrepid Adversary too here if we want to make the Smuggler's Copter better. But I guess I'll just kind of put it here just in case. And wow, that is a Solitude premium card. White, incredibly open in this draft. We got to take the white card. Giver of Runes and Spellbinder in the pack. I guarantee one of these 2 cards is going to table. I'm going to be happy with either, to be honest. I hope it's not both, because then I have to make a tough choice. I want to just draft on easy mode. There's also a Feywild Caretaker, which is quite strong, but I think the Solitude is better for our deck. And now what do we take? So now we have the choice between Unexpectedly Absent and Cathar Commando. I think I'm going to take the Commando. I do need a couple of extra 2-drops. The fact that it has Flash is excellent with some of the counters that we have, and it gives us a Disenchant effect, and it's a creature to crew the Copter. So I will take that over the Absent. And look, white is super open, and double white is a heavy commitment to being in white. So I just think it's unlikely that somebody even takes that card, to be honest. Now we're looking at a pack. Wow, that's a late Wheel of Fortune. There is a Curse Scroll, which is fine, but I'm not going to take... I'll take it if I'm a Lurrus deck, just because it's a cheap card. But I'm going to just take Usher of the Fallen. It's just a really solid 1-drop to play in most decks. Happy to have that in play turn 1. And now we're looking at a pack with Lauren. Lauren is great. I'll take that in my deck over Odawara, I suppose, and Crucible of Worlds. Crucible not good in our deck, but just it could be a good card in general. And here we have a pack of Lion Sash and Timeless Dragon. I will take the Timeless Dragon just for additional mana fixing. Unclear whether or not it's going to make my deck. Lion Sash is a nice card to have against Reanimator, though. But I think we have four counters. So I think we have enough there. But we're going to have to make some tough cuts here, I think. Well, I guess this is 23 cards, so maybe not. This is our deck. But I feel like some stuff's going to table. Some stuff's going to table. Now I'm going to take Portable Hole out of this pack, I think, over the Thieving Skydiver. I think the Skydiver is a good card, but I do value having cheap interaction. I think we have mostly what we need for a full deck, and if I'm playing against an aggressive strategy, I think having the hole is really important. I may or may not main deck this card, but I think it's more important to have that than the Thieving Skydiver for our deck. And now, what does this do? I don't think that does it. So this is just me hate drafting something. None of these look particularly exciting. I guess I'll just hate the Grave Titan. That's pretty good against me if somebody resolves that. You know what's interesting? The pack with the Giver of Runes and Elite Spellbinder didn't table. Oh, just kidding. I can't count. So somebody took the Giver of Runes, but we're happy enough with Paulo and a couple of green cards in that pack too. Trinket Mage for Mox is a thing. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but it's a thing. But yeah, I think this deck ended up pretty nice. We're mostly white, touching on some of the other colors. We're not super aggro. We're a little bit more... We're aggressively slanted, I want to say. But I think this deck turned out okay. We'll see how a deck that's trying to do something like this fares, right? It's not all in on being aggressive, but it's got a nice curve, and it's got a good amount of disruption to slow down what your opponents are trying to do. All right, folks. This is kind of what I landed on. It looks like the other aggressive drafter on our team is a Lurrus aggressive deck with all the other white cards. So I think we might be kind of the two aggressively slanted decks in the draft. Maybe there's one more. So for that reason, I think we're going to just not play all this removal. So Winds of Abandon and Portable Hole in the sideboard. Kind of in the dark, I would play the Hole because it's good against aggro and artifacts. But we could play against decks that don't have both. We do have a good amount of interaction in Dismember, Get Lost, Council's Judgment, Teferi Time Raveler still, and Solitude, and also Wandering Emperor. So I think that's enough, and then we'll board in more as necessary. So those are in the sideboard. The Adversary is fine, but I think it's replaceable. I like kind of our other 2-mana plays instead, and because the Adversary you really want to kind of have in the 4-drop slot. I like the fact that it has lifelink, so if I play against aggressive decks, I want that. Spellbook Vendor, Touch the Spirit Realm, like I said before, enough removal. Dovin's Veto, I'm going to board in. I have 3 counter spells. I have Reprieve, Memory Lapse, and Spellqueller as counters, and I'll board in the Dovin's Veto if I need to. And then the Spellbook Vendor was kind of the last cut here. So this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to play 16 lands plus a Timeless Dragon. I think that's going to be good enough because our curve is relatively low. Maybe that's on the greedy side, but this is going to be what we're going with here. So we just need to add some lands. We want at least 3 red sources for 4th Year Lingus. So Arid Mesa, Badlands, and probably 1 mountain, 2 if possible. And then as far as blue sources go, we have Flooded Strand, Arid Mesa, Tundra, that's 3, Timeless Dragon, that's 4. So maybe like we can play like 3 islands. That might even be excessive. And then let's say what happens when we play 6 planes. 6 planes gets us 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 white sources plus a Timeless Dragon. So that seems good. So this gives us 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 white sources, 7 blue sources, and 3 red sources with this current configuration. I'm just wondering if I want to play another red for 4th Year Lingus, but I think just drawing too many mountains is probably too bad here. So we'll just go with the 3. All right, folks. I think I'm still going to keep it. This is why you want 2 equipment. But drawing Stoneforge Mystic with Batterskull, not ideal, folks. Not ideal. All right. Well, looks like we're on maybe some kind of a Reanimator strategy here. Blood Fountain. So it might be a little... Oh, I should have played Karakas turn 1. Let's go upkeep. Just getting Ancestral recalled. Nothing to see here, folks. Let's go ahead and fetch Basic Island here. Oh, actually, no, our team has the Wasteland. Yeah, our team has the Wasteland, so we're good. And then I'll just play Stoneforge Mystic. The old Stoneforge Mystic failed. You know, let's just look, just in case. All right. But definitely bringing in Dovin's Veto. You know, based on the fact that I'm aggro and somebody else on my team's aggro, I probably should have started the Veto. I probably should have. Still getting used to the team draft aspect of everything. They went and fetched Entomb. Interesting. So I don't need to play Lauren here. Lauren plus Karakas is really nice. But I'm just going to play Karakas and pass. Because they can Entomb a legend. And we will just use Stoneforge Mystic to put Batterskull in play. So this one's going to be rough, folks. I am going to think about my sideboard plan. So it's like, I got Veto. I think that's basically it. I have Urtai. If I want to go super deep. Urtai plus Karakas is nice. Archon of Cruelty. Yeah, I mean, this one's going to be over. Persist. Yep. Archon of Cruelty. I will sack Stoneforge Mystic, discard a Plains, I guess. And I think I keep the Lauren in. I'm nothing great here, but there's always a chance that they play cards like Animate Dead. So I will keep the Lauren post board. And now, can't really attack with my Germ. Target opponent. So I can actually play the One Ring here. So I will. And that does buy me a turn. They can't. If they attack me, the triggers don't happen, I don't believe. But nice deck here from Janara. Recall, Entomb. Nice little reanimation strategy. Prismari Command. Destroy target artifact and loot. Bluff that I have a Force of Will. I don't. I would have forced the persist if we did. All right, we need to find a removal spell for this Archon. That's what we need to do. So we got 2 draws here we have 3 cards we can look at. All right, they're just sending a message here. I don't take any damage. Okay, so that is an answer to the Archon, and it exiles, which is really nice. Let's draw a card here. And we don't need to Karakas, so let's go ahead and play Plains. Let's cast Council's Judgment, target Archon. And then let's go ahead and play the Copter. I mean, we're probably going to die to a Through the Breach here or something. We'll see. But oh, we got Mind Twisted for 4. Okay. Not much that could have been done there, but we do have the One Ring, which is nice. We're just taking a lot of damage here. We just need to be mindful of that. But hey, we dealt with the Archon, which is big. Teferi Time Raveler. Let's draw some cards. 4th Year Lingus we cannot cast. But we can play Teferi. But that doesn't do much here. I can play a Spellbinder. Maybe I just play Elite Spellbinder here. See what they're working with and then keep up Get Lost as well. In their hand, oh, Emrakul, okay. Well, I can't really stop anything else. So if I exile the Emrakul, I basically can never get Emrakuled, which is nice. So I guess we just exile that. And then we'll just pass. I want to keep my life total high because I have the One Ring in play. And let's take a look at the hand here. Don't need Entomb. They're going to cast Preordain. Let's just remove Emrakul. That's what they have. If they Unholy Heat the Spellbinder, we can still crew the Copter to block. And like I said before, I still have access to the Get Lost, just in case. And next turn, we're probably going to have to Teferi and bounce our One Ring. Pitching Scalding Tarn, okay. And we know about Unholy Heat. You know what's kind of funny is they only have 3 card types in the yard. All right, Unholy Heat down. I don't think they're going to attack us. Wow. Oh, I get to loot even when I block. That's nice. Well, I want to minimize the damage that I take, so let's do this. I rarely block when I Smuggler's Copter, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, let's just pitch an island here. Go to 9. Then we're going to go to 6 here. All right, let's draw some cards. We're 14 cards left. We can go Mox. There's 4th Year Lingus. I'm really interested in bouncing my One Ring, though. Oh, I can. This is great. So I can go Teferi. They can't do anything now. Bounce the One Ring. Play my Badlands. Play the One Ring. So we have protection at least for a turn. And now I think we have the cards to try to come back here. We'll see. Discarding Mountain. Okay. He's drawn a lot of his deck. I wonder what other large creatures are in his deck. He's got the Archon of Cruelty and Emrakul. Not close to casting Emrakul. 2 cards left. What is this? What else does this do? They don't have any creatures in the graveyard. So I can play a 4th Year Lingus and get in for a lot. Oh, okay, Teferi is down. Yep. So I can't take up Teferi. But I'm just thinking I just go for a huge 4th Year Link. I mean, we'll see what they play here. Oliphant. Okay. So we can get lost that. And still 4th Year Lingus for a lot? We can also dismember it. This is interesting. I think I'm going to wait on the 4th Year Lingus maybe for one more turn. And so why don't we can play Timeless Dragon and also kill, let's see, we can play Timeless Dragon. We'll have Dismember up and also get Lost up. So let's cast this. And then I'm just going to relax for a turn, see what they do. This keeps up Karakas. Baleful Strix, okay. I can also just block the Oliphant. He's almost through his entire deck, though. Ooh, Imperial Seal, that is scary. I wonder if I need to be drawing a card with the One Ring. That is really, really scary. Creatures get haste. Okay. Combat step. I think I'm going to... Alright, this is big. Do I get lost here? Or do I dismember here? Because I can use the get lost on a bigger creature. Oof. I'm at 6 life. The thing is, if I dismember, I go to 4. And then possibly 3. They use their haste. Oh, they do have a Scrapwork Mutt in the yard, so I do need to be mindful of that. Let's get lost. All right, and then I'm going to trade the copter here. Oh, Solitude is phenomenal. Okay. Oh, another white card is great. So now we can keep up Solitude while also 4th Year Lingusing for a lot. Do we keep up Karakas? I think so. And Dismember potentially. Let's try that. Let's keep one more creature back here. This is a 2-turn clock. We can also Solitude our own creature if I need to gain life. But remember, they did cast Imperial Seal. So this gets in. We are the Monarch. We draw a card. We have Solitude, Karakas up. So we have Solitude plus Karakas up. We'll see what happens here. Ooh, quite a game here. Quite a game. Regardless of what happens. Okay, what are you pitching? Atraxa. Okay. Well, good thing we kept Karakas up. Now, do we bounce this in response? I think so. Maybe, I think Luis's cube has stifle effects, and I don't want him to find a stifle off the Atraxa. Ooh, slip out the back too. Okay, I'm glad I bounced it. Whew! Slip out the back would have been annoying. I mean, we do have Karakas for the untap. So he also has a Kozilek though, but remember, I can Solitude on top of that. They have Remand as a counterspell. This is all really great information that I need to showcase to my teammates because we basically saw the entire deck. What a game though, what a game. I think somehow our win rate is pretty high when our opponents cast Ancestral Recall on us. Okay, what are you casting? Show and Tell. He has a Remand, so I'm not going to put anything into play here. Oh, I could put Solitude into play. No, I'm just going to wait. This is probably going to just... Because, yes! That I'm really happy about and proud of. Our opponent got to do their thing. One ring, drew us out of that one. That was a phenomenal game. GG's. So I have the option. Does Strict Proctor do anything? Nah, it just makes things a little bit more expensive. The thing is, he's also trying to cheat in Emrakul and Kozilek. Yeah, obviously the veto gets in. I don't think Dismember was all that great in this matchup. They just had some pretty... just their creatures didn't seem all that great. It's like a Scrapwork Mutt. Baleful Strix, I guess, is kind of annoying. But I think I have enough things for that. There is a touch. But Flickering Emrakul doesn't seem that good either. It's good against Emrakul, right? Because I can just target it. There's also Winds of Abandon, which I don't think I want. So let's take out Dismember for the Dovin's veto. But is there anything else that doesn't seem good? No, I think I like this configuration. Let's try that. Hopefully our counters can come in clutch. Okay. Not the quickest hand, but our deck isn't very fast in general. And we have a Dovin's Veto, which I think is very important in the matchup. And we have the Solitude too, so I think we're keeping. Is that a Bloodstained Mire? Okay. A fancy Bloodstained Mire. Okay. Really want to find land number 3 so we can play Mentor or Spellbinder. All of this resolves. Baleful Strix. Kind of annoying. Alright, so there is a mana source. I don't need to fetch yet. I really want to get a mountain, or excuse me, Badlands with Arid Mesa. But I might need to get double white here for Wandering Emperor. So I just want to keep my options open because I don't need to crack right away. Probably playing Spellbinder here. I think I want to put something in play. Spellseeker, okay. All these little dorky creatures are getting kind of annoying though. I mean, we do have Solitude. What do they get? Oh. Why did I ask? Like... Of course they get Ancestral Recall. I can make the Ancestral cost 3. Yeah. Yeah, look at me. Yeah, I think I get the red-black land here. And then we'll play Spellbinder. See what you're working with. Wow, so they had... Ooh, they do have Tail's End, which is pretty good against Karakas. What do I want to have costs more mana. So the problem here is if they draw a black source, I just lose to Entomb Goryo's Vengeance. Oh no, I do have Solitude. Never mind. Although they'll just Entomb Goryo's Vengeance Atraxa or something then, if they don't want to get Solituded. So do I just make Entomb expensive? Goryo's Vengeance? Making Goryo's Vengeance expensive seems nice. It makes it cost 4 mana. All right, let's do that. Not ideal, regardless. I think our opponent's a pretty massive favorite this time around. Although they were a pretty big favorite probably in the first game. But his deck is just really, really powerful. So they recalled. Now they can looting, potentially. They can't cast the Vengeance. I guess because they can't cast the Vengeance, unless they drew another Reanimate spell. Wow. Okay. So they're going to go end of turn Entomb, maybe? So I think this is really rough because I don't have anything to cast at instant speed. But let's attack. And I think we just kind of have to pass and just hope. They're going to Entomb for sure. They're not going to Entomb? Wow. Okay. Well, we're winning this. I don't know why he's attacking with Baleful Strix. Okay. This makes a lot more sense. If you want to play the draw go game, that is. All right, so Faithless Looting gone. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. So they can trigger my counter my Solitude trigger. Scrapwork Mutt, okay. Plains would be nice. Oh, this counters my... Okay. Wait, why did I click away the Entomb? Yeah, this is a really tough spot just because they have Entomb plus Goryo's Vengeance, which has been exiled. And if they Entomb Atraxa, it's just kind of over for us. All right, we're pitching the Mentor. I don't think I'm ever casting this card. With the staff, if I draw a white source, I can still keep up the veto. Bitter Reunion. There's the Atraxa. And they have a Goryo's Vengeance for 4 mana, but he's playing it super patient. Yeah, I really needed like a flash spell or something. All right, well, that's a plane, so that's good. So that gives us something that we can do. They have a Tail's End, so I don't think I'm interested in the Wandering Emperor. So let's just play a Staff. Puts a 1/1 into play that can block these nonsense cards. And then we still have Dovin's Veto up and Solitude. The big thing is Dovin's Veto for Goryo's Vengeance, because we know that he has Entomb. But now the Entomb doesn't matter anymore because the Atraxa is already in the yard. But nice little game. The problem is this is kind of almost like a control matchup, but you can't afford to tap out. And he's got more mana than us because he played Recall. Look at how much deep he's 11 cards deeper into his deck than I am. Right? So he's almost got the perfect hand. But we do have Dovin's Veto, which kind of says no to everything. Although he can remand his own Goryo's Vengeance. So Goryo's Vengeance costs 4. I mean, the thing is, if I go end of turn, draw a card off the staff, and he goes in response, Goryo's Vengeance, my Atraxa, I don't think I care, right? Because then you're just discarding a million cards. All right, this little scrappy mutt needs to go down. Okay. Nice. Okay. So now what I want to set up here is end of turn Wandering Emperor. That gets countered by Tail's End. And then I can slam Teferi. Or do I just play Teferi now? I could just play Teferi now. Although that's going to get met by Tail's End. And then what? And then I have Dovin's Veto. I still have Dovin's Veto. Yeah, let's just pass, actually. Yeah, I like setting up the Wandering Emperor first and seeing what he goes with. 3 mana, expensive taste. Sure. Show and Tell. Artifact, creature, or land card from the battlefield. Okay. I will go with the One Ring. So they can't target me with the Archon. Okay. Oh, it still works? Dang. For some reason, I thought it prevented it. Okay. I'm going to need the Council's Judgment. I kind of need all these cards. I guess it's the 4th Yearlingus. Oh, I could have drawn a card. Probably is what I should have done. Yeah, we'll draw a card here. That was my bad. They have Tail's End, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm gonna need to exile with the Solitude. Quite a game. Quite a match, in fact. Yeah, but I thought the One Ring, I have to cast it from my hand. And you know, a previous video, I messed that up. In a previous video, I messed that up. Jeez. All right, so they're going to Tail's End this. Then I got to veto it. All right. But then now they can Goryo's Vengeance the Atraxa, unless we draw another counter. Okay. We didn't draw another counter. Okay. Okay. You get your Atraxa. Maybe you'll deck. Okay. All right, Teferi down. Probably can't crack the one or use the One Ring right now. Oh, I guess we could have flickered it. Yeah, I guess we can flicker it if we want to find something. But let's just go ahead and Council's Judgment. This is a super rough spot to be in. Memory lapse, okay. All right. Just draw a card, I guess. And then Council's Judgment. Our opponent's playing really well, too. Very, very shifty. Just jam. It's a lot easier when you just jam, Janara. Just jam. All right, well, we're just gonna do our best here. They have Goryo's Vengeance. They use their Tail's End. And next turn, we're gonna draw 2 cards. We're gonna go down to 2. Oh, we're at 1. Okay, they got us. Nice. Wait, let's see. Trigger, can I bounce it in response? Nope. All right, GG's. Okay, game 3. Maybe I need some cheap threats just to have something to do early while keeping up counter magic, right? So let's take a look here at what could maybe go. Maybe we want Spellbook Vendor. The Mentor does seem really good with all my token stuff. I also like Stoneforge Mystic plus Batterskull. Just, I can pass and then put this into play. This does eat up a mana every turn. I think with us being on the play, this is going to be fine. Play, keep. We can get Tundra with the Arid Mesa. And then we have Memory Lapse up, and then we can play a Spellbinder. So everything is fine here. I'm going to go fetch now. They have a Tail's End in their deck. I don't want them to go. I don't know that I saw Mox, but getting your fetch stifled is just a complete disaster. This couldn't get a blue source anyways, because we only have the one Tundra. Right. I think that's the only Lauren target. So yeah, let's be real here. Let's figure out what they have. Ooh, Thieving Skydiver. I don't really care about the removal spells or all these hand disruption. Let's just take Spellseeker, because that lets them get Ancestral or Entomb, and it basically makes it so that they can't cast it. But yeah, their deck is great. Preordained, Brainstorm. Man, okay. It's okay. They didn't have a counter, and we can go Wandering Emperor while keeping up Lapse and Veto. So that's a pretty good situation to be in. It's really a question, though, of whether or not I want to attack. Well, let's see what happens here. Scrapwork Mutt, Swamp. Okay. Skydiver. Okay. You want to attack? 1 for 3? You don't want 1 for 3? Blue? I think we pass here. It is tempting to go for the Timeless Dragon, but I think when we have just a phenomenal play in just casting Wandering Emperor, we just do that while we can. They do have Infernal Grasp, which they can use to kill the Elite Spellbinder here. Really want to draw. Maybe I should be playing another blue source, because oftentimes I want to be able to play Teferi plus keep up counter magic. They'll probably Infernal Grasp this, right? But what am I to do? I mean, I'll just do it anyways, because then I can keep the Samurai token in play. Prismari Command. Interesting. So they have Spellseeker, Infernal Grasp, 2 damage, and Make a Treasure. Is this worth countering? It feels like it gets them a lot of resources, so maybe I do. Or the question is, do they have everything to combo us off? All right, we'll just let that happen because they have the removal spell already. Let's just pass. They've just cast too many hand disruption spells. Like, I just need to keep up counter magic. Spellseeker. Let's lapse that. We're blocking here. I think they're both going to attack, yeah. Okay, and now we make a token. We play Lauren. We kill Baleful Strix. And our Wandering Emperor safe. And we have a veto. This resolves. I think I just counter the recall, honestly. They have an Infernal Grasp. I think we just counter the recall. And then just kind of hope for the best. And then just go for 4th year Lingus, honestly. Because they need a lot, and the Ancestral just gets them everything that they need. I wonder if they play it this turn, though. Scrapwork Mutt. Okay. Interesting. They have Ancestral. Block. So they're keeping the Ancestral. We're countering it. They have Infernal Grasp. Let's go ahead and fetch Island. And do we just 4th year Lingus here? Or do we just Teferi? Actually, we can just Timeless Dragon. That's probably good. So they have Infernal Grasp plus 3 unknowns. All right, now we are super vulnerable. All right, that's a show and tell. We have nothing. Yeah, they got our Traxa. All right. I mean, it's whether or not we counter the recall or the show and tell. And with all the other counter spells that they have, I just felt like the recall will just find them a lot of the things that they need. But I do have Teferi. We'll see. This has been revealed. Okay. Yeah, probably going to lose this now. Really tight match. Really tight match. Unholy Heat. And I think they have... Wait. Do they get everything? No. They have. Do they have Tail's End right now? Okay. This is our only play this turn, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They will probably reanimate Atraxa in some way. They probably have Goryo's Vengeance, right? Okay, persist. Okay, we will sack a Vigilance token and this, and okay. Help? No, you had both? Come on. Oh, what a match. Look, great deck, Janara. Great deck. The 2 premier reanimation targets in the cube, and some ways to reanimate, and then just a nice controlling shell with Ancestral and a bunch of counters to go with it. So it was really tough. The thing is, I think I would fare better against a straight black-red reanimator strategy, but against this, it's just not going to get it done, sadly. I mean, I need just the perfect top deck here. I need to kill Archon. Council's Judgment, maybe? We just attack and get back the Monarch? I don't know what to do with this Wandering Emperor. Do I make a token? Or I guess if they attack me, I can exile it, but they're gonna attack this, right? So let's just make an army and draw a card. So I think we just die here, right? I can't play the One Ring. Yeah. Very close. I guess if we... Maybe I should have coptered. Yeah, we're dead. Okay, folks. We have a 1-lander, so let's mulligan, I guess. Let's keep this. Let's see what Talexer's playing real quick. Looks like a 5-color value deck. So let us bottom the Cathar Commando. They're playing a Giganta deck. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Do I want to dismember this? Just to slow them down? Think I do. Don't want them to just play something on 3 that's really, really strong, but we need a white source here. I don't want to go to 5 though, so we're on the draw. Just hope that we naturally get there, but we didn't. So a little bit rough. Earlier, also in game 1, we couldn't Smuggler's Copter because then we just discard whatever we drew. But I think there were a lot of spots there I could have played better. Okay, so this one's going to be rough. Turn 2 Grist. Ooh, pitched Leovold. We need a white source. I didn't want to Solitude the Elvish Mystic. Okay. One of those days. Ah, man. Okay. We do have 12 white sources in our deck. But I guess our hand is just not functional if we don't draw white. But now we're just getting completely hammered. So they're going to go what? Oh, they're keeping up some kind of counter effect here as well. Okay. We can play the Pearl. And I think I'm just going to pass. We'll play the Pearl. I'm going to pass and then keep up Spellqueller maybe to eat one of these tokens. But then they can grist it away. Ay. Yeah. Maybe we just go for the end of turn Spellqueller. Okay, so they made a token right away. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in one of those spots where we just Hope they don't have anything. Block the Mystic. And go on about our day. Territorial Kavu is good. That is only a 2/2. Okay, that's really good. So I do want to pressure this Grist. And then it feels like they have a 2-mana counter, but I feel like the best way for me to win in this spot is still to just run out the Solitude. I can play an Elite Spellbinder. That also pressures him, right? Elite Spellbinder still pressures him, and I get to keep up Reprieve. So maybe that's the play. I just feel like he has a 2-mana counter. He wasn't putting Giganta into hand. Maybe it's just a 2-mana removal spell, but he would have... Oh, just nothing. That's really interesting. Oh, sorry. Can't cast any of these cards. Can't cast any of these cards. Great. Let's take the... I guess the Dungeoneer. Wow, okay. Well, now we have a shot. If they kill one of my flyers, I can still kill the Grist with the other flyer. We have access to Remand. And now we're pretty safe with the Solitude on top of that. And that allows us to race next turn. Everything gets in, that's fine. Now he's going to be able to loot here, which is going to help him find... Adanto Vanguard down. It's going to help him find something. I imagine he's going to probably throw away an insect here to kill my Spellbinder or something. Oh no, just making more tokens. Okay, so we can kill the Grist, but we will be tapped out. Huatli. Huatli gets a white source. I mean, we're just reprieving anything here. Let's go and just fetch a basic Plains. And then we'll reprieve this. And Grist down. And then we will play Solitude. Do I let him loot? We can't do anything about that. We removed the Dungeoneer. Well, he can still play the Dungeoneer. So Territorial Cav... No, I want to gain the life here. So let's let him loot. Yeah. Okay. Island down. Let's cast this. Let's kill the Cob. We're at 6. I mean, I kind of want to kill Huatli, but... This gains us life. Okay. Prismatic ending on the Pearl. That's actually really annoying. Ooh, we drew a white source. Okay. So they have a Dungeoneer. They can't play that yet. They can flip this. My 3/1 definitely wants to attack. Do I just play Timeless Dragon? Because that makes it really tough for them to attack me. And I'm happy with this trade. So let's just do this. Do we also attack with Spellqueller and just lean on the dragon? We can. Well, what happens if they flip this? So they can make 2 3/3s if they do that. All right, let's attack. Let's get aggro. All right, that's okay. So Huatli down. And then now we can go Staff of the Storyteller, Smuggler's Copter. Or we can just run out the dragon. They have Dungeoneer and the Evangelist. I actually think I like the copter line. Well, hold on. Let's play the staff. Then we, excuse me. Then we can draw a card here. Then we can play a copter. Because now we can actually loot away the Timeless Dragon by blocking with the copter, a play that I learned in the last match. And then eternalize it, put another counter on the staff, and then draw more cards. So we know about an exiled Dungeoneer, which, if Talisker plays a land, can play. There's also Sanguine Evangelist. Gigantha is still exiled. Is this an Evangelist? There's 2 new cards. Ooh, that's an Oko. Okay. Yeah, so now he can make an insect into a 3/3. I'm at 9, so I probably do want to trade here. Because my flyers can still kill the Oko. But I'm just interested in preserving my life total here. We get to loot. And yeah, I will pitch the dragon. All right. Virtue of Loyalty and the One Ring. The One Ring does seem pretty nice here. So why don't we send these 2 at Oko and send this over to Talisker. If he has a removal spell here, that would be tragic. And yeah, instead, okay, so this is the problem is I use my mana better if I go with Virtue and One Ring over the dragon. So let's do that. And also there's a chance that he just runs into my Virtue here. Also, actually, no, he won't because he can't attack me. All right. But I kind of want to turn the corner here, put on a lot of pressure. Next turn, oh. Well, I'm glad I played the One Ring. Okay. I'm glad I played the One Ring here, folks. Oh, they can use this to kill a creature. Yeah. Yeah, that works. I should have just drawn a card with the One Ring. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. All right. Right. We draw a card here. I really want to find an answer to the Bombardiers, or it could just mean death. So what do I want to do? Because this is going to put me down to 6. Sacrifice another creature. They can play the Evangelist and deal 5 damage to me. I can draw a card off the Storyteller first and still be okay, just to give me a little more information. So let's do that. Okay, oh, perfect. Glad we did that. Now we run out Karakas. And don't want to use a One Ring just yet necessarily. But let's go ahead and attack. Vigilance, let's just do that. Okay. Let's play Wandering Emperor. Exile this. And pass. Okay. Pretty good spot. Pretty good spot. Sanguine Evangelist. Okay. I should draw a card off the One Ring. I keep messing that up. Because I could have hit Memory Lapse there. Maelstrom Pulse on the Spellqueller. Yeah, let's draw. Okay. Creature down. All right, so they have Gigantha exiled and the Dungeoneer. And we have a lot of great options here. Okay. Let's think here. Exiling this does seem nice. I think we can probably close the door pretty quickly here if we just draw. And then, oh, 4th Ear Lingus. Is that lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can Ear Lingus for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 12 damage. Even if they block these two here. 12. Yeah, I think that's lethal. Let me double check. Yeah, this is lethal. Okay. This should do it. Whew! All right, we were able to stabilize there. Really, really happy about that one. That was very tight, very tight. I don't know how many artifacts or enchantments they had, so maybe the Lauren needs to go. This gets us a Tundra. We have Stoneforge Mystic. Let's not draw Batter Skull. Please and thank you. Territorial Kavu, okay. That's a 4/4? Wow, that thing hits really hard. Am I supposed to just kill that with Get Lost? I need to get another white source with this. I can't afford to just get red right now, because I might need to Council's Judgment here. So let's Stoneforge Mystic for Batter Skull. And then we also have Solitude available, which I think I might use. Actually, let's just do it now. I don't want to mess around here. And I'll exile the Cathar Commando. Yeah, let's just do it now so we don't get countered. Huatli, okay. Oh, did they remove Gigantha? Huh. Okay. I will accept that. And as much as I want to get a land here with the Timeless Dragon, I think I just want to put pressure with this Batter Skull. 4-mana Comet. Okay. Here we go. Let's hit the return target mana value thing. What did they hit? Oh! I don't get an opportunity to respond? I guess my Batter Skull would have died still. I thought I got an opportunity to respond. Wow. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. It's okay. We can Council's Judgment that, but that definitely slowed a lot of things down. I thought it went on the stack for some reason. Okay, well, we need to get rid of this, so. I think Lauren. I might just get rid of the Lauren. Isn't this just awesome when you flip it? You just make 2 3/3s? Like, I don't even know how I beat that, to be honest. Huatli just seems awesome in this matchup. Get a land and then make 2 3/3s? Pretty good. It's an enchantment, right? Okay. Well, maybe that's a reason to keep Lauren in. But we still have two dinos that we need to deal with here. We can bounce one with Teferi. But he's got too much gas. Oh, with the fetch. Okay. All the value. Yeah. All right. We're pretty dead here. Let's see what we draw. Yeah, they're very creature heavy. We go Flicker Wisp, a dinosaur token. We can block this. I mean, I guess we will. That was a good draw, but let's flicker with the dino, but I don't think we're getting out of this spot. I guess this doesn't fly. It looks like it flies. But on the play, it should be better. Made a little fumbled on this one, though, I will say. If I had a batter skull on this board, well, they would have killed the batter skull if I responded like that, probably. So it wouldn't have made that big of a difference. All right, this tireless tracker. All right, let's just move on. Okay. Let's get the laps back in. We're on the play, so maybe I like the usher as well. Let's try to match them and curve out if possible. He looked a little bit light on removal. Do I just want to go adversary as well? Do we just try to match them? I don't know if I don't think I have enough cheap creatures necessarily to be able to curve out with the adversary here. Maybe this is a matchup where Winds of Abandon is good. I don't really like to ramp them early, but maybe in late game situation, I can just remove all their creatures for 6 mana. Could be a thing. Maybe I still don't want this. Seems a little bit too low impact. This might be good. And then let's still get the Lauren out of there. All right, let's try this. Oh, they're back to Gigantha. I think they may have made a mistake when they sideboarded. Okay, this hand is phenomenal. We got the mock start. Finally got the mock start. Okay. Turn 1 Copter into turn 2 Spellbinder into Spellqueller. I like it. What you got? Maelstrom Pulse, Adanto Vanguard. Don't care about the super expensive cards. Maelstrom Pulse he can't cast. Adanto Vanguard is the only play that they have next turn, so let's just make that more expensive. So they just can't play anything. Okay. Then let's crew. And let's beat down. Yes, I would love to loot. And yeah, let's pitch Timeless Dragon. I want to be able to play that next turn. That seems quite good. Darkslick Shores probably into nothing. Okay. I don't even think I need to Spellqueller here. I mean, I guess they can draw the Maelstrom Pulse, but I think I just want to put as much pressure as possible here. And instead of Spellqueller, I just want to play a 4/4 flyer here. Crew. Crew. Done. Probably looting away a land here. Sure. Okay. Yeah, this is an incredible start for us. Okay, drew the 4, so Maelstrom pulsing my 4/4, I guess? Yep. All right, so this is interesting because we can Spellqueller. We can also Batterskull attack. But I want to keep up Spellqueller and I want to get in for maximum damage. So I'm just going to play as aggressively as possible. Let's get Batterskull in. Let's crew. And I guess we can lose to a random comet if they draw perfect off of it. But this is a lot for them to deal with. They need to draw the red source too. All right! 1-1, round 3, let's go. Okay, round 3 against Nachito. We have a bit of a slower hand, but I can't really mulligan this. We have Smuggler's Copter. The question with this hand is, do we go for the Copter turn 2 and hope that we find a land for Lauren? Or, I mean, it obviously just depends on whether or not we can draw land number 3. Or do we just cycle Timeless Dragon so that we can make sure we have one of our powerful turn 3 plays into Fairy and Lauren? But we're on the draw, so we're going to have a lot of extra information before making that decision. Oh no. Hey, we got the mock start last time, so it's only fair, right? Let's hope we don't get completely brutalized. Inti? Oh, okay. Let's draw mocks of our own. It's only fair. It's only fair, though. All right, I'll run out Caracas. Just so maybe they have a legend to play. Maybe they can play Lelia this turn, right? Oh my gosh, what an incredible start here. All right, well, this one's going to be tough. I mean, aggro starts with a Mox. You saw in the last round is ridiculous. And here, it's going to be tough for us as well. I think we just need to get lucky and try to draw a land. I think we play Cathar Commando, hope that it can get in front of the Rabblemaster, and then hope to find a land. Oh, wow, cycling right away. Thoughtseize. Oh, yeah, I mean, we just play this. Great start here from the Cheeto. We're going to be boarding out those counter spells. Most of them, at least. Keeping Lauren in, though. Teferi might still be good enough. Spellqueller could also be good enough, but Memory Lapse, Remand, or Reprieve are not really at their best against these types of decks. I guess they don't even have to attack with Rabblemaster. And I guess we just take it all and keep this back as something to block Rabblemaster. Goodness. All right, well, we didn't find a land here. I guess we play Smuggler's Copter. And that can at least eat one of these creatures. And we do need to loot, so. All right, we crewing. That's a 5-2. Let's block the 5-2. Let's draw a card. Oh, that's really interesting. Let's exile Teferi. I think we should exile the Scrap Heap Scrounger. So let's just go ahead and do that. And let's exile Spellqueller. Okay. All right. If we draw a land here, the deck's trying so hard. It's trying so hard. Gosh, trading with one of these goblins feels so bad. I mean, do I kill this Mox? Yeah, I think we just block and kill a Mox, maybe? Prevents a damage. What is this? Oh, burst. Okay, we're at 2. And we are dead. Okay, no lands. That'll happen. All good. We got this. All right, so let's go. Touch the Spirit Realm. Portable Hole. Definitely this. Possibly even Winds of Abandon. Maybe even this. And then I made a big mistake here, though. I do not have enough planes. I did not bring in enough planes here. So that's kind of awkward. But it is what it is. Let's just take out all of these and bring in 2 planes. Cut 2 islands. And then if anything, I can probably just cut another island and add another red source just to make sure that I can play the 4th Year Lingus. This gives us now 4 red sources for 4th Year Lingus. Let's do that. And let's just, like I said, cut all the counters and then cut 1 more card here. Now I can keep up with his potentially ridiculous starts and figure out what the worst card is. Maybe it's Dismember just because we take damage, but it is pretty nice against the Rabblemaster. All right, let's just cut the wins. Okay. We have the mock start this time. It's not as impressive, though. It's not as impressive at all. But let's go ahead and might as well thin out our deck. This mana situation isn't ideal with Spellbook Vendor though, because we want to play Elite Spellbinder turn 2. Hey, look, you gotta play fair here. You can't just be doing this. Come on. Let's get in for 2 first. They could have a removal spell. They could have Burst Lightning. But I definitely want to play the Elite Spellbinder. Need a little bit more action. Bitter Triumph, okay. They took 3, okay. I guess we won't do that. All right, Paulo, show us what our opponent possesses. Turok and Grief, interesting. Let's make Turok harder to cast. Grief just gets the 1 card. Pro White's also really good. So Polluted Delta down. Although Grief is going to get the Solitude, unfortunately. They can just play it next turn. Maybe it should have been... Well... Yeah, this is kind of annoying. And I think it's a situation where... If he casts Grief... Like, I don't even play the Usher. I think I just use the Solitude to kill the Grief, probably. And if he doesn't go with the Grief, then we'll do something else. Then we can just play Solitude next turn, and we'll be happy. And I think I prefer exiling Grief to the Scrounger. Although that might be close. Okay, there's the Swamp. All right, so what are we solituding here? We can Solitude Scrounger or Grief. Grief is better against the Planeswalkers, but Scrounger they could get back if we choose to block. So I guess if we're going to be in a racing situation, I'd rather just exile the Scrounger and just take less damage. And we're just kind of really leaning on this flyer here. All right, we have a Plains in hand. They can't get that. Oh, Wandering Emperor. They do have a Turok exiled, but they can't actually play it because we used Elite Spellbinder. So let's see what happens here. Stomp there. That's really good. That's really good. Not much we can do there. That's a Turok that's exiled. That's a Rabble Master. Okay, so I think now we just... We don't exile the Grief. We just make a 2/2. And then we just block the Goblin. And then we can make another 2/2. And then we can block the Grief or whatever. We need another good draw. I mean, okay. That is another good draw. All right, let's figure out what we want to kill here. Is it the Grief or the Rabble Master? I think it's the Rabble Master. We can double block the Grief. Okay. But they have Bone Crusher Giant plus Turok still available. They can play the Turok as a 2/1 pro-white creature, which is pretty good. We have not a lot of answers to... What? Are you kidding me? Let's do this, I guess. Okay. Wow. Caracas off the top. How lucky. How incredibly lucky. Ooh. That was also very good. All right. Look, one good draw deserves another. He's probably going to play Bone Crusher here, and that offers the trade unless we can find something. I think I'm happy with this trade, but we've both been just top decking here. And yeah, let's just go with this trade now. And I'm going to play this land, I think. We have a Smuggler's Copter, though. They're kind of thinking about what I could have here, I think. But they have a Smuggler. I have a Smuggler's Copter, so maybe I want to loot. Oh, no. I should play my land because they have Turok in hand, of course. And then if we just top deck 4th Year Lingus, we're good, right? That's just... We have that as the out. Block, no block. Block, no block. All right. Badlands in play. Magda. This Caracas is so good. All right. I guess for now, I care less about Magda, or I care more about them getting the mana from the Magda because I don't have anything. Oh my goodness. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. They can't even attack us. Flametongue Kavu. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. They can attack. I'm just gonna bounce. Just minimize the damage I take, right? Doesn't really matter. What do we draw now? Okay. That's a Lauren. Ooh, we can even bounce it with the Caracas. This kills Mox. And let's pass. We can bounce Batterskull, or we can also just equip. So now what do we do? Do we just take the 6 because he's likely going to play the Turok? Or do we bounce the Magda just to minimize the damage that we take? And then we can just equip. The thing is, they can just play both next turn anyway, so I think we just take the damage here. Yeah. We'll just take the damage here. They get their treasure. Yeah, we'll underturn Caracas. Unless he found a removal spell here. Turok. Last card. Land. Great. Okay. So let's return Turok to hand. And I'm just equipping Batterskull. Like this. Now we're going to gain a bunch of life. Get in for 6, go up to 15. We have a 6/5 in a pretty decent spot here. I do need to be careful because now the way I lose is if they somehow kill my Batterskull. And so I do need to be mindful about whether or not I want to use this Caracas. Let's attack. Okay. Great back and forth here, though. I mean, look. I can't sugarcoat it. We've gotten very fortunate in this game. A lot of good back and forth. They have a great Rakdos deck, aggressive strategy for sure. What did you find? Turok. Okay. Yeah, we just block. Now they have nothing in play. We just bounce Turok. Do we bounce the Magda as well? That forces a block on the FTK. I guess we do. I'd rather just eat the FTK here. Play this. And pass. I guess they can play both. Whew! All right. Game 3. Game 3. Let's see how this goes. We're on the draw this time. casting pyrokinesis a thing? I don't think so. 6 mana is just too much, probably. I think on the draw, I really want to focus on staying alive. So let's do this. And this is not the greatest defensive creature. So maybe this is the one I cut. I just want things to be able to block everything that they do. So yeah, let's get rid of that. Here we go, game 3. Let's get a Mox. A nice Mox hand would be great. Okay, what does our hand look like? There's no Mox, but we have a 1-drop and a 2-drop and a removal spell on the draw. Gotta keep. It's gonna be tough if he has an explosive Mox start. Keep it fair. Keep it fair, Nachito. Just no Mox, and we'll just play our cards and then see what happens. All right. Good luck, Mr. Nachito. We've had some good games. I might have sacked you out just a little bit. Oh, he started with a mulligan. No Mox. Okay. Thoughtseize we don't care about. Our hand is all just the same cards. Maybe he just takes the adversary because it's a lifelinker. All right, took our 1-drop. Oh, wow. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it. Look, it even protected us from the Thoughtseize. Good job, Magic Online. Good job. Way to put that Mox Pearl on top of the library so it doesn't get Thoughtseized. Love it. Love it. Do they take the Get Lost? Probably. Could also take Wandering Emperor, but then I'm just going to Get Lost to bat and attack. Although maybe they want me to get Lost to bat. So many layers. I think I just attack and offer the trade. I don't know. This, up to, okay. Am I happy with this trade just to get back Wandering Emperor? I think so. I don't want to use the Get Lost on the bat. And I'm just going to play this out as a creature. Whew. I was like, am I gonna kill my own Mox here? It's a newer card. It's a May ability. All right. Okay, so we just pass. Attack. And we have Wandering Emperor up. They do have... We'll see what they do. 4 mana. Rabble Master. Okay. So that has to attack. I'm happy enough to play... Excuse me? What do I want to do with this? I think the safest play is to just make a 2/2. Then we just block. And then we can tick up on the Lauren next turn. Like that. Then attack. Do we Winds of Abandon this Rabble Master? I don't think so. I'm just going to pass. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. We even have the Commando to get in front of the Rabble Master if we need. Doretti, what do? Sack an artifact. If you do, destroy target creature. It just makes a defender. Okay. Sure. Okay. So that has to attack. So we will happily block with this token. And then the question now becomes, What do we do with this Get Lost? They're at 12 life. Do we care about this already? Sure, because they can use it to kill my creatures. So I can play... Yeah, okay. So I can play Get Lost on the Rabblemaster here. Play Cathar Commando. Oh, that's also really good. That gives it... Okay. Actually, do we even need to at that point? Because now we can go Spellbook Vendor, right? Okay. We can go Spellbook Vendor and have everything attacked already. Pay 1. Yes. Here. Yes, I would like that card. So Daretti down. And now the question becomes, what do I want to do with my Wandering Emperor? Do I tick it up? Are we afraid of a sweeper of some kind? Do we just make a 2-2? I think we just make a 2-2. And pass. All right. Is this a Damnation? It's a Flametongue Kavu. That's okay. It's going to kill the Spellbook Vendor for sure. Okay. And now we can kill the FTK, or we can just play Hero of Bladehold. We can also, let's see, do we have a lethal attack? I don't think so. If I kill the construct and I Winds of Abandon the FTK, that's an attack for 7. So that's not enough. And I don't want to use the draw card ability on the Lauren. So let us give this first strike so that it can continue to attack with the Scry, and then play Hero of Bladehold. These 3 have Vigilance, which is nice. We'll bottom that. He's got to do some chumping. I imagine Defender chumps here. FTK probably goes on Lauren. Then we can play Hero of Bladehold. That should seal it up. We didn't see any sweepers. But the question that now becomes, do we play around Damnation? I don't know that he wants Damnation on the play. But I'm gonna play Hero. Seems unlikely. I think he would have also played it in a previous turn instead of playing FTK. So he needs to exactly top deck it. All right, Turok, that's not going to be enough. You have to kill Hero of Bladehold. Okay, so so Hero of Bladehold down. They discarded a card. All right, so no, that was really good for him. That's a Batterskull that I can't cast. I can attack with everything and just make another token. And oh wait, hold on. If I let me think. If I put a counter on this Samurai and they block, they take 7. So if I attack with everything, they can eat this. So I should put a counter to force the block on one of the bigger creatures that doesn't die. So now he's going to have to block. Oh! Do I want this land to play Batterskull? Seems good. All right, and then now I can play Batterskull, and that also puts me 1 mana away from overloading the Winds of Abandon. So I think it's decent here. Right? Hitting a land there. Drawing a card. All right. Come on. 2-1 for the draft. Let's go. Yes. Drawing the Mox. Getting it done. 2-1. I believe we won 7-5. Super, super close. Very, very happy about that. Thank you, rest of the team. Shout out to Timrod. I think he went 3-0. Quickly taking a look at this deck. I think this was just one of those drafts where we try to stay a little bit open. And it was very clear that the white cards were available. Because we kind of started out thinking we might want to be blue-white control, but all the aggressive white cards just kept tabling. And it was one of those things where, okay, well, we'll just take them and see what happens. Might still be interested in splashing to blue. Opened the 4th Year Lingus, ended up taking that. And I think all in all, because white was so open, we still ended up with a really, really solid mono white splashing some counter spell strategy because we had the good mana. So happy with how this deck turned out based on our seat. And we won to draft. So of course, really excited about that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to hit the like or subscribe button for more daily uploads just like this. I'll catch you tomorrow.